Hi there and welcome to New Journeys Counselling channel. So recently I've been doing a series of videos where I talk about subjects that don't necessarily get enough attention or get enough support. So these are some of the disorders or some of the issues that affect people and they don't necessarily get enough attention, whether that's media attention or just support from others around them. So I recently did a video on hoarding. And I know there's been a lot of TV programmes about hoarding, but that's usually been really extreme and it hasn't really looked at the lower end of that, which is a really serious mental condition. But today what I'm going to talk about is OCD, Obsessive Compulsive Disorder. Now there's also been quite a few programmes on about that. There's a show called Obsessive Compulsive Cleaners, which comes on Channel 4. But I think, just from my experience, a lot of people will sometimes use the term to someone, you've got OCD, and they'll say that in a really flippant way, and they'll usually be referring to someone who is particular or really fussy about cleanliness or just fussy about putting things in the right order. Now, what I would like to say is that OCD, Obsessive Compulsive Disorder, is a clinically diagnosed disorder, mostly diagnosed by doctors, but in some cases people may feel they have OCD but they just haven't been diagnosed with it. But it's more than just being fussy, it's more than just someone who likes things to be clean. It's about a person who has to perform a set of rituals and a set of behaviour in a certain way. Otherwise they feel that something really bad is going to happen. So in the extreme cases it can include things like having to wash their hands a set amount of time. It can also include having to switch the light switch off and on, having to maybe vacuum over maybe sometimes 10 times a day, having to clean sometimes, you know, the whole day, some people 10 hours a day. So it's really extreme because the person is driven to do that behaviour, otherwise they feel that if they don't, someone's going to get hurt or they're going to get hurt or something bad will happen. So the driving force for the behaviour is the idea that if they don't complete these rituals, something bad's going to happen. Another characteristic of someone with OCD is a fear of germs. And the fear is of other people's germs, and even in cases where they might visit a restaurant or visit somewhere and it is completely, you know, pristine and it's really clean, they may still have a fear that there's germs there, and so they might avoid public transport is one thing that people with OCD may avoid. They may avoid physical contact, so shaking hands, giving hugs, kisses, and this could be not just with strangers, well, you're not going to be kissing strangers, but this could be with family members. If you've got really severe OCD, you may struggle even with hugs, and it's not the affection side of it, it's the fear that you're going to get some sort of germs or that it's not clean. So treating OCD can be really difficult because of the fact that you can't just treat the behaviour, you have to treat what's psychologically going on for that individual, and that's why it can take a long time, because if you just go in there and just try and tell that person not to clean, you know, 10 times a day, or you try to go in there and do things for them and try to help them, or you try to convince them that what they're doing isn't the right thing, that's not going to help, because psychologically they believe that they have to continue with these rituals. They believe that they will get some sort of disease if they touch someone's hand. So you have to work with their underlying beliefs and with their psychological and emotional issue. So what I would say is that this was just, as I said, a brief bit of information. If you know someone who may have OCD, or at least this gives you an opportunity to know a little bit more. I'm not an expert in the field, I don't work with people with OCD, but I just find it an interesting subject, and as a counsellor it's something that I may work with in the future. So if you've enjoyed this video, then please leave your comments, please subscribe if you want to see more similar videos, and I hope you've enjoyed watching. Thank you, bye.